morning and welcome to my channel. Sharon here. Thank you very much for being with me today. I'm making a file folder folio with a journal, and I'm going to be using 2 pieces of craft card. I don't know the thickness, I'm afraid, probably 200. This is what, not obviously with these papers, but this is what we're going to be making. Folds out like this, like that, and then here I've got a journal that's a very basic journal, little bit of decoration. There are some tuck spots, etc. And then in here I've got a selection of papers and ephemera. So I'll put that aside. We take this first one. We find the middle, I'll move it out of the way. We find the middle of one piece, and I've not really measured. So you've got the middle there. You then fold this in to there, and this makes your first flap. You then take these and you measure 1.5 inches in. Let's move it up a bit so I've got the bottom bit as well. 1.5 inches to there, 1.5 inches to there. You then glue this to this. So I'll do that next. In fact, I will use this one. So that's like that. On this side, we've got to do some scoring, which I will get my scorer out. And I'm going to score at 6, and I've got the measurements here. I'm hoping I've got this right. At 6¼ inches, I think that says. Yes, 6¼ inches, which is, there's half, 1, 2, 3, 4, there's quarter. Oh, it's attached, isn't it? This will fold over here, and then you've scored this, or we folded this already. And so we go to 8¾ Whoops, bearing in mind this is your edge, should probably have done this beforehand. Right, 8¾ is there where I folded it, sorry. And then we go to 3¾ 3¾ You can see because of the line here, maybe glue after you've done the scoring, sorry about that. There. Yeah. Probably glue after you've done the scoring. Find this part, but there are measurements for that. That should be scored at 8¾ and this is at 3¾ This is your fold piece into here, and this folds over like that. It's very simple and very straightforward. Then what I've got is the paper bag, which will go here approximately. I need to trim that down, and for that I'm using my decal edge trimmer. So I'm going to put that about there. So I need to drop it a bit there. I just thought it gives it a bit of a different look to it, even though it's an extremely noisy piece of equipment. So that will go on there like that. I've then got, I think it's Pink Monarch. It is Pink Monarch, and I think it's her Sweet Blossom kit. I will double check and link it below. These are pages for covering the folder, and also for here is the journal that will fit in there, and this is the cover I've put together and just one of the pages. I haven't I don't think I've double-sided the pages. No, I haven't. So there will be some white space which we can decorate and stencil on. It's a case of, with this, I'm kind of, whoever buys this, it's more about them doing some decorating, which will go in here, and I will show you that as well. So this is the basis for it. I've got to ink all around these edges, down here, and ink all the way around these edges. It's either vintage photo or walnut stain that I'll use. Not too sure at the moment. I've covered all the folder now, and I've covered the paper bag here. I've left it like that so that I can get quite a bit in there, and I've turned this into a pocket as well. So these are just lunch bags that I've used, and then I'm just gluing the whole back down so that you could, if you wanted, make a pocket at the back as well. However, I'm going to be putting extra ephemera and some vintage papers into here. So I'm just going to glue it and align it up with the bottom of the paper so it comes about there. Like that. Now I just need to let that dry. So I'll put that aside. And then what I've got is, I've put the small journal together. I've got about 8 pages of printed paper and dyed paper, and then I've put some book pages in between. It's a very simple journal. I will put some pockets on it and probably do a couple of tags, but the rest will be put into the paper bag. I did love the colour of this. And what I've done with this, I've done some stenciling with the rose there. And that goes over there, and then this is the middle. Now, what also I've got to go in here is an envelope. This was a office envelope to there, and I've trimmed it down to fit the height of the journal. And then what I've got here is I intend to cover it. This bit here will be sewn in. So I'll try and show you what I mean. I'll sew this in here, but I'm going to cover this part and this part. I've already cut the pieces out and inked them in vintage photo. And then on this side, I will glue this. Oops, won't go in, that's it. Onto there, like that, and make a pocket. I'll cut this down here and make a pocket here. With this one, because I've cut the top off, bear with me while I find it. There. Because I've cut the top off, when I glue this part, I will glue this to this and then do a slither of glue down the edge so this stays open like that, and I will put a notch in there. So that's what I'm doing next. I'll start with, I'm hoping this glue is going to work. I've had a nightmare with it. I'll start with this one, and I'd first of all glue this onto here. Oh, it's coming out. A lot of it's coming out.
At this point I realised I'd left the sticky side up, so I've used talcum powder just to take the stickiness away and then be able to glue it down.
So you can see what I've done there, and this will now, I need to let this dry, and I will put a notch in there and a notch in there, and then I will put this into here, probably there. I've got two coffee papers together. She's got quite a bit Pink Monarch of bits and pieces here, so I will decorate the rest of it with that. Now the next bit is making the closure here, which is actually quite straightforward. So I just need to find the middle here. If you heard some clunking then, it was the other half walking through the room. Anyway, I just need to find the middle here. So 1 and a bit there, roughly. So sort of here is the middle. I'll do it there. Dear, I've got our Christmas lunch today with our craft club, and I'm kind of rushing, which I shouldn't really be doing. That goes in there, and then put a grommet or a eyelet in there. It does get a bit awkward when it's this big. Right, push that down, and then what I've got is some, I think this is the actual colour. I don't think this is tea dyed. I think this is one I bought, this colour, but it's a bit, let's do it that way and I can cut it off this side. It's not crinkly, but so I'm pretty certain it's one that I've bought. Put that over there, and then this will come round here and tie up here, but obviously I need to leave a bit of slack for it because the journal's got to go in. Put that in there at least, and then I've also got to fill the bag, so I do need to leave a small amount of slack here for it. So I'll tie it into a bow and then unravel this side and cut some off there. So once we've put it in, and then that just unravels that way. Once I've sewn this in, and this will be sewn into here. Anyway, I think that's it for today, and I'll be back with what I've done with it, probably a flip through, and also a flip through of this one as well, which you'll be able to see what vintage papers and packages I've put in there. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button and the notification bell, and subscribe if you haven't. And I'm so pleased that you came along and watched this. Thanks a lot. Bye.